I
going
always
over
have to
to.
do that.
Hey everybody, good morning, or maybe it's almost afternoon. It's Scott Stoltz, and I'm sitting here with Deborah Knight, and we are enjoying unbelievable Boston weather.
Unbelievable weather.
I know it's was it November 3rd?
November 3rd.
November
I'm
3rd.
sleeveless.
So pardon this. This is my first Facebook Live with sunglasses on.
Me too. Me too. We'll take them off and say hi, everyone.
Yeah, hello,
It's just a little bright there.
And I'm shadowy on
Yeah.
here. But Deb and I just finished another great Boston Speaks event, and we had some great connections, good energy. We're going to talk about that in a second, but we decided to move it outside. You can see some Boston landmarks behind us, the Prue Center, the Citco sign. It's a beautiful day here in Boston for early November, so we're taking advantage of that. And we thought we would jump on here and share some great talk about energy, about life, about relationships. So if you guys have any interest in what you're hearing, or if you have any questions, throw them out to us. We will do our best to answer. And Deborah will do her best to answer. She's chock full of great wisdom.
Yes.
So
I'm all about the love. All about the love.
And energy, right?
Energy and love. Yes, the energy of love, the energy of emotions to attract love. Yes.
So speaking of energy, in the event that we went to this morning, you know, again, we've been to many of Kit and Boston Speaks events, and just being around other good people, like-minded people who are out looking to do good things and help people. So
Yes.
How do you feel? What's the energy you feel when you go to these events?
That's why I come, because as a coach, I work at home. You know, I'm on the phone, so it can be very isolating. So I come to these events so that I can become inspired, so that I can bring that energy back to my clients. I think it's really important to be around people who, you know, are what the old saying: you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with the most. So if you want to make change in the world, hang around change makers. If you want, if you want to make more money in the world, hang around people who are making money. If you want more love in the world, hang around people who have great relationships.
Energy, one way to look at it, you feel, and I've got good experiences over the years, but I want to hear it from you. You feel when you do surround yourself with people who have those things or doing those things, we truly do feed off of that?
Yes.
How does some of that work?
The way I look at life is that I think I've talked to you about this.
Yes, that's why I want you to share it.
Yeah, okay, so you'll have a thought, right? We have thoughts, our brains never shut off. We have a thought, what comes next is an emotion about that thought. And that emotion is what creates the vibe around us, our vibration that we send out into the world. And what does that do? That creates our reality. If you don't like your reality, what do you have to do? Change the vibe. Change the vibe, you change the emotion. Change the emotion, you actually have to start by changing your thought. So going back to mindfulness, so how that it correlates into what we did today was, for me anyway, it can be when I'm working alone, I can get very like just a lower energy. I do my best. I think I'm very good at keeping my energy up and staying mindful and grounded. But again, it's getting around people who are changing the world. I want to change the world, right? So
Beautiful.
being
That's
around,
what I like about you.
Yeah, being around people is like Scott. It just, yes, let's do this. And it just inspires me more. So
I think I shared this when we met not too long ago, and I'm an introvert, I think, by definition, but so I'm not shy. I like to give off as much energy as I can, and I need to be around people during the day. When I'm doing work and the things that I really care about, I need to share it with people, but then I recharge on my own and I get energy. So I would say, tell me if I'm off on this, that I feed off the energy of great people that I'm around when I'm doing work, good things, but I also recharge energy on my own, right? Do you do any of that? Like, what about the people who need to get energy on their own?
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to understand that we each are so different that we're going to recharge in whatever works best for us. Some people recharge better going out dancing or to yoga or whatever that is for them. I'm a lot like you, where I feel like the older I get, the more introverted I get. I'm really happy staying home with my books. But then again, at the same time, I love being around people. So yeah, I meditate daily. Yoga is my friend. Nature is my friend. And yeah, when you are around people a lot, I'm an empath, so I also absorb all their energy, and we have to be able to get rid of that. And you have to get rid of the energy so that you can keep going. to fill yourself up.
So that raises a good. Let's spend not too much time on this, but let's spend a minute on that. What do you do when you come across or meet somebody that you can feel right away as bad energy or negative? And it doesn't make them. We talked about this. It doesn't make them a bad person.
Yeah, right.
But if you're around somebody with bad energy, do you cut the conversation short? Do you do something in your mind to like wall yourself off to it?
Yeah. If it's really bad, yes, I will very politely. I'm very kind. Always be kind. That is my motto. Always, you can always be kind. So as long as you're kind, but if somebody is really like sucking the life out of you, I call them energy vampires, then yes, I will remove myself. I'll figure out a way to do that. If I can't, I always do. I don't come across too many people that are like that. Negative Nellies, yes. And I get very, what's the word I'm looking for? It tilts my energy. So I have my own personal boundaries. I don't let that in. And how do I do that? I will always think of myself as my inner light. So I always go to my inner light to keep me going. And then I remove myself. I choose not to be around negative people. So
Jillian Malam is chiming in. I think it's so important to surround ourselves with people that add positivity to our lives.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of what you were talking about at the start, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Jillian. Yeah.
So you're an amazing coach, that I know. And let's go this direction now, too. We're talking about energy and how we use it. What do you share with, and without getting specific about clients, of course, but like, what are some of the situations you see where somebody doesn't understand energy and how to leverage or use it to add to their life? And I'm sure this is very deep work. You don't need to get into step by step per se, but like, what's your approach when you have a client or somebody that you're coaching that doesn't really connect with energy or doesn't even understand it?
Well, first off, most of my clients understand it. That's why they come to me, because they understand the universal force of energy, the source, divine source. That is basically my clients are women looking for love, and they understand that basically if they have any issues with it, I teach them. So if you're on the telephone, right? This is a really good one. You're on the telephone, you feel you're talking to someone, and they disappear for a second. Or, I'm going to do it right now.
What do you mean, like to go on mute?
Did you feel my energy just totally changed? Totally went away? Right? So we as human beings can feel that innately. That's something that so I kind of teach them, how they're actually already seeing that and feeling that in their life. And then we go into the more depth of how they can. So like if somebody, like we were talking about, the negative people, if you have negative situations in your life, you can borrow energy from a happy situation and bring it into where you are. So I call it energy transference. So if you're in a situation where things are not going great, let's say you're having a conversation with your boyfriend, your spouse, a coworker, and things are starting to get heated up and you feel your energy being either dropping or getting irritated, it's really, in mindfulness, you can actually stop for a moment and borrow the energy from a very happy time. So I have all my clients always immediately think of, they have to have that in the back of their mind, just like this, so they can call on it right away. And when you do, you call on that, you bring it in, you feel it in your heart, and then you're able to come at that situation instantaneously from a more loving space.
That's intense, and that's very helpful. I don't think I've heard that you borrow energy.
Borrow
from
energy.
A better source,
better
memory.
Better memory. Yep.
Amazing.
So I have them go like right now. Think of something in your life that gives you so much joy and happiness. A moment. Now some people don't have those moments, so I have them make one up. Daydream. Use your imagination right now and go into a moment where you would be ecstatically happy, and feel it. Just really feel it in your body, right? So I know where I am. And you just can't help your smiling right now.
I am.
Where are
I'm
you?
thinking of one of those moments too. But I
Right?
love that I connected it. And this is something that I don't consciously think about enough. But I think I do it once in a while. And is this the right word? I think does it take a little discipline to be able to do that? To know yourself and know, okay, this isn't the best moment or energy, so therefore I need to.
It's mindfulness, but that's part of my work is teaching them mindfulness. and really being aware, just being aware of your own emotions as they arise. And I feel that the more you tap into your own self, then it becomes easier and easier, with consistency and, of course, having great support, whether it's friends, coach, mentor
Right.
around you, is very important.
So speaking of support and those around you, let's shift for a little bit into relationships. And we'll start from a nice, easy place because we were talking about energy, the energy somebody brings into relationships. So what's your take on, because I know you help people in these situations, when there's the energy's off in the relation, and there could be many causes, and you're welcome.
Can you guys hear us okay with the wind?
Yeah, do a thumbs up or somebody chime in if you can hear us okay. It's pretty windy out.
It is.
I think they can, though, because we're getting some likes.
Nice.
So energy in a relationship, what do you help people with there?
I usually help people trying to attract a relationship. So there's this belief that I have that we attract to us the level of the love that we feel for ourselves. So if somebody is constantly attracting people who are disrespecting them, then they have to I have them look at, okay, where are you disrespecting yourself? Because everyone that shows up for us is a mirror to something that's happening inside. So then we just work on that issue of respecting and loving and falling in love with who you are. And as you begin to do that, it's a byproduct that the people who show up are loving you at that same level. Does that make sense to all of you? Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, and by the way, they're hearing us.
Okay.
So that's good news. So we're talking loud enough. Yeah, I mean, I think, in my own personal experience that I've had, and not just, not just romantic relationships, but business relationships
Yes.
and friendships where I didn't feel like the energy back and forth was mutual. Now, I think sometimes just to acknowledge there are relationships that we have where it's not always. Gary Vaynerchuk likes to say he wants to give 51% of the time and only take 49. He wants to give more than he gets. Does that work in a romantic relationship where one person gives more than the other person?
I think in a healthy relationship, it's a give and take. It's sometimes you'll be giving 99%, and other times you'll be taking 99%. So it's never this constant. If it was this constant, I don't really think that works very well, because in healthy relationships, it is a mutual back and forth.
Right. What do you? I think you already hit on this a little bit, and I don't know if we need to talk self-esteem. Why do people keep themselves in relationships that aren't like that? What's going on there?
Self-love. It's self-love, self-esteem, self-respect. If you are continually attracting people who are not respecting you, who are cheating on you, who are lying to you, and just not healthy, then you really need to look. I mean, that was my story. So that was my story for years. I was attracting people who were not nice to me, and cheaters, liars, and I was the common denominator. So I really dove into what was I bringing to the table. And yes, I was confident, self-secure on the outside, but and this is very true for a lot of women, we're confident, we're going out there, we're making changes and making things happen in the world, but then we get in relationship, and it's like there's a switch that goes off, and then we become needy. We don't feel like we are, because this is a huge affliction for a lot of women, is that they become the people pleasers, and they give and give and give so much because to them they are being kind and generous and understanding, when in actuality, if you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, you realize that it's coming from a place of wanting and needing that love back.
So is there no such thing? I have a couple questions. We'll do one at a time. Is there no such thing as a person, the guy or the girl, being able to give more because that's truly what they want to do? Like, some people are givers. And they want to do that, and they're okay with that. But are you saying that that's?
But it's still a give and take. It's. I think I'm a giver. It's difficult to be two givers or two takers. I think it's worse in a relationship. But I see what you're talking about. Yeah, because you're a giver. You are a giver. As long as you're.
Not all my exes would say that, by the way.
Right.
Sorry.
But as long as you're getting your love tank filled up, okay. So, yes. I think it's possible for you to continue to give, but again, if you really look at it, it's going to be like this. It's going to be a back and forth.
So I mean, it's always kind of fluctuating depending
Yes.
on the. Okay, then that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Because maybe one week somebody
Right.
needs a little bit more.
Yes.
Another week they can give more.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And that's a healthy relationship.
Okay.
You know, you should be able to be in your healthy relationship. You should have moments where you need to be taken care of. You know, and that's quite all right. But it shouldn't be all the time.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's a sign right there.
Yeah,
Right?
if it's all the time, then that's unhealthy. So healthy is the boundaries and
So-
the give and take.
Let's get into some hard stuff then. So, what do you tell somebody when you know, as their coach, as their mentor, as a friend, and you know you've learned enough to know they're in an unhealthy relationship, an unbalanced, unhealthy relationship? How do you coax them and push them to not be in that relationship anymore?
First of all, I don't push and I don't advise anyone to do anything. I just ask the tough questions of what's coming up for you there. You know, we go. That's when we go deep because it's coming from them. So if I put if I pushed my friend not to go out with this guy, she's going to stay even more. And I think it's really important. excuse me, for she's just going to repeat the cycle. So you just keep repeating the cycle until you go deep and figure out. Okay, so I might ask her, okay, how are you feeling in that relationship? You know, what emotions are coming up, and does that make you happy? No, it doesn't make me happy. Okay, what could you change about, what could you change about yourself? Because sometimes too, if we change something in ourselves, the whole dynamic of the relationship can change. So I've had couples where, the guy's ready to leave, and and the girl gets really clingy. And when I work with them, we turn that around, and I only work with her. So she becomes more confident in who she is. And the funny thing happens is that he starts to come forward to her. So you only need to change one. But if it's an unhealthy, dangerous situation, then
Did you just hit on a guy gets afraid of what he might lose? Is that what that is, or what we don't have? Or no?
no, it's he starts to desire her again because she turns into what he fell in love with in the first place.
Okay,
So
more
women
pure,
tend to, not all women, so some women tend to lose their identity in their relationship, and their relationship becomes the number one priority in their life. And when that happens, it's too much for the guy. It's too much. It's way too much expectation to put on any other person, and so he'll start pulling away. And it can be the reverse too. I've had guys that do this as well. So he'll start pulling away, and once the girl starts reclaiming her own identity and her own, self-esteem, self-confidence, and doing her life, then he is finding that desire comes back. So, yeah, it's a really neat thing to watch.
Oh, it's crazy. It's great. It's funny. We look at relationships from what we've experienced, and sometimes we're good at giving advice to friends and others. I've typically been better at that than I have in my own relationships because it's so easy to lose sight of all this, and there's a lot going on.
It's a lot of layers.
Back and forth. Hey, if anybody, we're going to go a couple more minutes. If anybody has a question or comments based on what Deb's saying, or anything you want to ask her, shoot it in now, and we'll make sure to hit on that. So, you talk. This is the same area, but let's also add another layer: self-love.
Yeah.
I think it might speak for itself, and I'll let you hit on this. But self-love in a relationship, but also in life. I would think that with a lot of what you teach and coach and help people with, brings them to that place where they understand and are better at self-love. I don't know. Share how does it help in a relationship, and just how does it help in life too?
Well, first of all, most people don't have true self-love. They've never experienced it, so they don't even know what it means, or they don't know how to do it. So I gave them the tools. So one of the first things I do is have them do a self-love journal. And so that's just documenting, 3 things every day that you're proud of yourself for, or that you feel you did kind, or that you were nice to somebody. And after 21 days, right, it starts to add up. And you start to look at all these things and realize that you're actually a pretty good person. And that's just the beginning of self-love. What is self-love? Self-love is actually respecting yourself. They say you can't be in a healthy relationship until you love. It's a little selfish, but you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of another person. That's why they give the oxygen first, right, on a plane. So it's very much the same. And when you truly fall in love with who you are, there is so much gratitude, joy, peace. There's no room for judgment, and the kindness factor just increases even more. Your ability to give is overflowing. Um,
Why do so many of us struggle? So you said a lot of us don't know what self-love is. I believe it. But why do we have such a hard time? I know I've struggled with this over the years, loving ourselves, like looking in the mirror and saying, I'm
I love you.
awesome, I love you, all that. Why is that so hard?
we're not taught. So from a very young age, we are not taught. We're told, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. And so everything that happens under the age of 5 is built into your brain. So that's one of the things I do is reprogramming the brain, and that's a whole nother segment. But those things that we believe about ourselves are instilled in us at such a young age. Then it goes into the subconscious mind, and it's there always, and we don't know it. And so for me, like I always liked who I was, but I didn't love who I was. So think about that. It's like I liked who I presented to the world, right? But there was a place inside of my heart that was very empty. And so I had to fill that up for myself because I was always looking for other people to fill that place up. And that's what I work with women on, is to fill and give them the love that they so desperately want from someone else. And it's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing. I mean, a number of things you've said have resonated with me, but that last point about like looking to get that from somebody else when we really should be providing it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. The more you give to yourself, the more you have for somebody else. And then again, it goes back to the more you love yourself, you're teaching other people how to treat you. So if you truly love who you are, other people are going to love who you are too. And it changes who you're attracting to your life.
You know, that's really similar. I don't know if he's still on, but I saw I have a business coach and really just an amazing all-around person and life coach, Xander Fryer. And he checked in a couple minutes ago, and I saw him, give the thumbs up. And one thing that Xander's helped me, and I'm talking more business right now, but go out when we do well, when we're successful and earn money doing what we're good at, it allows us to do. Hey guys, we're back, Scott and Deborah, and we are going to do a quick wrap up because Mother Nature, as beautiful as it is out today, decided to wreak a little havoc on us and knock our camera over in the wind. But that's okay. We've had an amazing conversation. And can we finish where we were for another couple minutes, and then we'll do a nice clean wrap.
Yeah.
But we were still finishing up on self-love and what we need to really just produce and generate in ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
It's the key to everything. It is the key to our reality. If you don't have that self-love, I feel that, I feel the more you raise your vibration in the love, you're going to attract more abundance, more love, more wealth, everything in your life. So that's a lot of what I do, is teach people, the thought, the emotion, the vibe, the reality.
Yeah.
So if your reality is not right, you got to go backwards. Right? So business, you do the same thing. If it's not working, you go backwards and figure it out.
And is one of those, when you say reality or not in touch with our reality, are a lot of people, are we not, is that just being honest with ourselves? Is that what a lot of that is? Yeah. And not avoiding the truth,
Right.
facing the hard stuff?
Yeah, it's going in. It's going in, you have to go in to get the work done. If things aren't working in your life, you've got to ask yourself why, because everything is because of you. Everything. I don't care if you've had, come from horrible situations. I don't come from the best situation. I've had some pretty horrific things happen to me, but I've risen above them because I've gone in and I am my own knight in shining armor. I've done it for myself and turned my life around, turned my life around, turned my work around, everything. And if you ever come to one of my events, you'll hear my story of the trials and tribulations and the disaster.
Well, I think your story is amazing, and I think it's great that you share it. And I think with the kind of work that you do, I'm stating you need to, right?
Yeah, you do.
It's what makes you, what differentiates you. It's what differentiates you from others who might do similar work. But you just, earlier in the video, you shared a lot of your story, which is powerful stuff. But you've developed some courage.
Not really. I didn't share too much.
Just a
See,
couple
he
nuggets
does.
of it.
Yes, God doesn't know the deep dark stuff. But I just feel like every single one of us has a gift, right? We all have a gift that we're supposed to bring to the world. And my mission is to help everybody find that. And you can't find that without the love. You know, it is all about love. I feel like if we have love in our hearts, we're not going to judge. There's no room for judgment or hate. So what does the world need more of? Love.
Absolutely.
Right?
So we just heard some amazing stuff on energy, on relationships, on love and self-love, and you're a great source of all this wisdom. I
Thank
really appreciate it. Do you want to take a minute for those who are local? You can share stuff you have coming up in the near future, and then for those who are all over the country, how can they find you online?
Well, anybody can find me online at CoachDeborahKnight.com. On Facebook, it's CoachDeborahKnight.com. On Twitter, it's Glow From Within.
Glow from within.
Glow from within. You know, we all have a little light that we need to, kind of unearth, sort of say. I am doing a group coaching with women because I love the energy of the room. So, and this is all going to be online. So no matter where you are, feel free to reach out. Let me know if you're interested in that. That is going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. Instead of doing the one-on-one, I decided that it was time. Women do so well in groups, and there's so much compassion and empathy and just love there that I wanted to bring that into my coaching. And so, at the moment, I don't have any workshops slated, but they are going to come up today.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I noticed that you were asked, I believe you were asked quite a bit this morning at our event earlier about, see, people are drawn to you and they want to get more out of you.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I just want to give. My whole thing is just to be of service. I finally figured it out. It's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think for the people who have a journey and then they figure it out, like, it's all the better.
It's all a journey.
Right.
We're all on our own journeys. And I think it's really important to respect everyone where they are. So if you have somebody in your life that is, maybe not treating you the best, just know that it's not because of you. It's because of their own stuff. And just respect where they are, but you don't have to accept that behavior. That's my tip. There's so many.
I know. Well, we'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah.
All my great interviews this year, I'm going to be teeing everybody up for part 2
Awesome.
in 2018. But definitely look up, and if for no other reason, just check out her work online, Deborah Knight. You're just in the way you shared in this video, you're here to help people.
Yeah. If you have a question, reach out. I'm here to be of service, like I said, to humanity and women and love and
By the way, she doesn't just help women; she's helped me. I've asked her questions.
It's kind of funny. At times, I'll have all men as clients, even though I'm a coach for women. But I do help them a lot because I'm a woman. I give them the female perspective. So
we need often, right?
Yes.
And I know I do at times. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for
You're
all you do.
welcome.
All
Thanks
right.
for being here. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's always such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I just have to give a ladies, out to my friend Scott. Scott is an amazing person.
Oh, gosh.
He's he is single, so ladies, if
Uh-oh.
you are interested, contact me at CoachDeborahKnight@gmail.com. All right. Hey, it's what I do. Come on, look at that smile, right?
You couldn't avoid it, could you?
No.
All right. I'm busy these days. I'm working a lot. That's why I'm single. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you
Thanks,
again
guys.
soon. Thanks for tuning back in.
Bye.
Bye.